So what are the highest yielding dividend aristocrats you can invest in today? That's exactly what I'm going to go through in this video. I'm going to give you the top 10 highest yielding dividend aristocrats available to invest in today. This is one of two videos that I made today. The other video was the highest rated dividend aristocrats available to invest in. If you're interested in that video, I'll put a link in the description down below, but I filmed both videos today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. My name's Andy, and on this channel I like to talk about money and success. If you're interested in making, saving or investing money, please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell, and then you get notified every time I release a new video. And if you enjoy this content and find it useful, please do remember to give it a thumbs up, because that helps future algorithm, which in turn helps me, and of course I do appreciate it. Now before I start, I need to come clean. Not all 10 of these are actually dividend aristocrats. 2 of them are honorary aristocrats, because I have honoured them and added them to the list. They've been raising the dividends for 22 years or more, and so I've added them to the list because I think that's good enough for jazz, if you like. And I will show you, I'll justify it as we go through. So you'll see when the 2 come up, I'll show you which those 2 are, and I'll explain the situation there. I will also tell you which ones of these I already own, which ones I like, which ones I'd be likely to buy. We'll run over a few little basic metrics of each one, but not too in depth. I'm just going to go over these fairly quickly, and then that will be that. I want to also say this video was inspired by the idea of doing a high yield by sector video, and I actually think I'm going to do a series of that. If you're interested in such a series, let me know in the comments down below. For example, would you like to know what the highest yielding banking stocks are and the highest yielding gold mining stocks are, and so on? Because that's what I've got in mind. If that is something that would interest you, let me know in the comments down below or on the community tab on YouTube. I'm actually going to put that as a question on my community tab, so you can all tell me in there what kind of sectors you would be interested in. Anyway, without any further ado, let's dive straight in. So what is a dividend aristocrat? A dividend aristocrat has increased the dividends it pays to its shareholders for at least 25 years in a row. As I said earlier, 2 of these stocks haven't, forgive me. Must be a member of the S&P 500. They tend to be large, well-established companies. They tend to be largely recession-proof. And dividend aristocrats are similar to dividend kings, which are companies that have increased their dividends for more than 50 years. I have made another video showing all of the dividend kings available to invest in. I'll put a link up there and in the description down below if you are interested in that. But without any further ado, let's dive into the 10 highest yielding dividend aristocrats right now. So the first one is FRT, that's the ticker symbol, and it's Federal Realty Investment Trust. If you've watched this channel before, you know this is a stock I do invest in. Its current share price is $95.74. Its current dividend yield is 4.51%. I did a versus video where I compared this stock to Realty Income Corporation, ticker symbol O. If you're interested in that video, I'll put a link up there and in the description down below. But let's carry straight on. So 4.51% is the dividend yield. If we head over to the summary card, we can see it has grown its dividend by 1.72%, and it is a dividend king because it's raised its dividend for over 53 years. The current dividend yield is 4.51%, and if we look at what that looks like on the graph, maximum, there we go. That is how you can see its dividend has been increasing over time, and it has been increasing further back than that. My graph just simply doesn't show it. Next stock, Triple M, 3M. This is basically, my note for this says this company makes everything. From post-it notes, you just imagine it, this company makes it. PPE, whatever you want, this company, you can guarantee, almost certainly makes it. It's actually quite close to its 52-week low, as you can see. It's gone down 32.64% over the past 12 months. It's got a slightly higher dividend yield of 4.86%. I will be increasing the dividend yield, so I'm doing this in reverse order from lowest to highest dividend yield as we go through. 4.89%. It has been increasing its dividend for 63 consecutive years. It's got a dividend yield of 4.86%, its payout ratio is 58.74%, and its growth rate is 5.12%. If we go onto the chart, you can see here how the growth has looked over time. And obviously this does not go back the full 63 years. It has been growing its dividends for 63 consecutive years. Next on the list, Realty Income Corporation, the monthly dividend company. So these are well known for paying their dividend monthly, a favourite with dividend investors. 4.91% is the current dividend yield. It's down 15.55%, which when you consider at the time of making this video, the S&P 500 is actually down over 16%. that's not a terrible performance. Its dividends scorecard is here. You can see it's 4.91% dividend yield at the moment. Typically, so you know, I tend to like to buy this one when the dividend yield is over 5%. So when it dips, which just this week it actually was at a price where I was able to buy, then that's when I would look to buy it. So when the price dips low enough that it's over 5% dividend yield, that's when I personally have this one down as a buy. Also, another little interesting quirk of this stock, it seems to increase its dividend 4 times per year, albeit only tiny little increases. It is increasing them 4 times a year. So it is really nice as a dividend growth stock because you can see that income increasing, and it is paid monthly, which a lot of people like as well. If we look at the chart over time, you will see how the dividends have increased, and you can see them ticking up all the time, as you see. Okay, next, IBM, International Business Machines Corporation. Ticker symbol IBM. This is an IT company, and this is one of the 2 companies I've included on this list, even though it hasn't had 25 consecutive years of dividend growth. And I'll show you why in a second. It has had 22 very good years, and it has been increasing them previously before that, which I'll show you in a moment. So if we go over to its dividend scorecard, you can see here it's a 4.89% dividend yield, 74.3% payout ratio, 3.5% is what it has been increasing by over the past 5 years. If we go over to the history and look at the long-term chart, you can see the dividends have been increasing. I mean, really all the way back to 1993, which is nearly 30 years, but it had this little blip back here in 1999, and that's what devoided it of being a dividend aristocrat, and I didn't think that was fair. So I've popped it back on the list so you can see it, because generally speaking, I'd say this is quite a safe dividend. As you can see, it has been increasing. And that is that. Let's move on to the next one. NNN, National Retail Properties Incorporated. This is yet another REIT, or real estate investment trust. It has a 5.33% dividend yield. It's down 12.23% over the past 12 months, which, remember, is better than the S&P 500, which is down 16%, or more than 16% over the past 12 months. If we go and look at its dividend scorecard here, you can see it's grown by 3.07% over the past 5 years, and it's got 31 years of consecutive growth. If we look at the chart, you can see here what that looks like. So it's not the fastest growing dividend in the world, but it's at a fairly high starting point at over 5.33%, and it has been consistently increasing those dividends. Leggett and Platt, ticker symbol LEG. This is another one that I actually hold in my own stock portfolio. This one basically does all soft furnishings. That's how I think of it, as a bedding company, but it does cut off furnishings, carpets, things like that. Okay, so it does do all soft furnishings. It's a consumer discretionary. As you can see, it's down over 30% year to date, so it is actually quite low. I would say probably a fairly good time to buy Leggett and Platt. It's offering a 5.38% dividend yield right now. If we look at its stats on the dividend, you can see it's got a 28 years of dividend growth, a 59.86% payout ratio, as you see, 5.38% dividend yield, 4.2% dividend growth over the past 5 years. And if I look at the chart for the history, turn that to max, you can see the growth is a thing of beauty, up, up, up and away. So that is Leggett and Platt. Next, Walgreens Boots Alliance, ticker symbol WBA. As you can see, this is down 26.5% over the past year, so it hasn't performed as well as the S&P 500. Full disclosure here, this is one I haven't invested in, but it's one I am considering investing in. I'm not, generally speaking, a big fan of retail stocks. I do own the retail stock Foot Locker, if you're interested. And this is one that I also am considering investing in because I like dividend stocks, and I think it's actually come to a price now where it's looking like it might be a buy. So this is one I'm going to research a bit further. If you're interested in investing in this or any of the other stocks on the list, please do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor, so nothing I am telling you is financial advice. You do need to do your own research and due diligence, but from my opinion, I quite like Walgreens Boots Alliance at the moment. I think it's got longevity. It's obviously a good dividend stock. It certainly has been in the past, and so it's one that I am considering but have not bought yet. If I do, I probably will make a video and let you all know. Okay, so on to its dividend stats. You can see 5.41% dividend yield right now with a 38.02% payout ratio and a 4.63% growth rate over the past 5 years of 29 years dividend growth. And if we look at the history, put that to max, look at that for dividend growth. Isn't it a thing of beauty? So there you are. That's what it looks like. Let's move on to the next one. VFC Corporation. I've got to be honest, before making this, I had no idea what this company was. It was quite a surprise to me. Its dividend yield is stonking at 7.09%. And so I did a little bit of research and looked what they do, and you will recognise this immediately. Look at all these brands. All of these brands are owned by this company. Vans, the North Face, Timberlands, Dickies, Icebreaker. All of these brands that you see on your screen right now are owned by this company. So let's head over to its dividend stats. So 7.09% dividend yield, highest one so far and absolutely stonking. It's got a payout ratio of unknown. We'll have a look at that in a minute. 5-year growth rate of 4.81%, and it's been growing those dividends for 48 years. If we go to the history, click it onto max, you can see the growth right there. And obviously that's not the full 48 years there, folks. It doesn't show it on my graph. I'm sorry about that. But as you can see, a lot of years of growth, and it has grown very, very nicely indeed. We'll just quickly look at the financials because I'm curious as to know what's going on with that payout ratio there. Payout ratio, it claims, is 183% this year. It was 55% last year. So its payout ratios are all over the place. Let me have a little look at its revenue per share. Started off at $26, $27, $25, $26, $21, $29. General trend is up, so I would say that's all good there. And its dividend per share obviously will be increasing, as you can see. Its earnings per share is what I want to look at next. So its basic earnings per share there. That is increasing and is higher than its dividend. So I'm not worried about what it's saying the dividend is payout ratio wise. I think there's a bit of a glitch on my software here. So yeah, that's that one. Let's move on to the next one. Ticker symbol EPD, Enterprise Products Partners. You can see the yield there is 7.53%, so even higher. It's actually up 4% this year. That's because it's in the oil and gas sector, and that sector as a whole has been rising whilst pretty much everything else has been declining. If we look at its dividend scorecard, you can see 7.53% dividend yield, 80% payout ratio, but it is an LP, so it will have a higher payout ratio. It's grown for 22 consecutive years, so this is one of the two stocks that I've included that isn't actually a dividend aristocrat, being that it's less than 25 years. Pays its dividends quarterly, and if we look at the history and turn that to max, you'll see what that looks like on a chart. So that's what the growth looks like on a chart. Nice steady growth, as you can see there. So I thought it was one worth including. Hope you appreciate that. Next one is Mo. It's a favourite with many dividend investors. This is one of those love it or hate it type stocks. Obviously it's a tobacco company, also has a little bit in the cannabis field and vaping. 8.12% dividend yield, so it's a very high dividend. It's actually down 3.74% this year. It's a stock that a lot of people say you lose money on, but if you look over 10 years, you would have actually gained slightly, even though we're in a lowered market at the moment. It's 46.09% up, and if we look at its maximum, you'll see you would be up over 500%. So I know there are a lot of people that say you would be down on it, but only if you bought at the peaks, basically, as is the case with any stock, I suppose. Right, if we look at its dividend scorecard, you can see 8.12%, 76% payout ratio, 7.89% growth for 52 years, making it a dividend king. And if we look at the graph here, you can see what that looks like. Nice growth. And again, you can see it's not showing all 50 years. It never does on this software. This is Seeking Alpha. I am affiliate of Seeking Alpha. If you're interested in using this software yourself that you've seen me using in this video, I'll put a link in the description down below which will actually give you a discount on it. I personally pay for the 12-month version of it every 12 months simply because I'm a tight ass, and that's cheaper to do. It's cheaper to buy it if you pay 12 monthly rather than paying monthly. But like I say, if you click on the link in my description, that will give you a discount on the regular price anyway. I hope you found this video useful. If you're interested in seeing the highest rated dividend yield stocks, click there. If not, watch the other video up there. And other than that, have yourself a nice day, and bye bye.